join me at Buckmore Park for round 8, the final round of the Club 100 Junior Championship. So let's see my fastest lap. So into the first corner, using all the track, just small dab of the brakes, hit the first one, missed the second one wide just a bit, and then back out wide. Brake just when the curb on the left changes. We don't really want to touch the inside curb, and then you run it wide. Into this second hairpin, hitting the later apex, and then coming out off the track. And now into the chicanes and down into the S's, and into here, flat up for the first one, small lift, and then a dab of the brakes into the second one, get your kart rotated for this section here. Could have used more curb there, but we did have to. It was just my second session of the day. And now around here, we're going to use a bit of curb on the left, quite bumpy. And then as we come around the final corner, using all the curb on the right, and then avoiding the one on the left, all the one on the right, and across the line. And let's see where we finished. So now coming out of the pits for the pre-B final, we've qualified in P3, and now let's see what we can get from here. We're on the inside, which is really good, especially for a long inside. We have 3 right-hand corners before the first left one, and into turn 1 we're going to get a good run, almost getting a gap into second place, but we're going to keep third, which is really good. And now as we go into here, into the hairpin, nobody sends up our inside. The 2 ahead go side by side. Let's see if we can capitalise on it. As we go around this corner, he's going to go for a move ahead. Someone's going to try and go for a move on us. But it's going to be a false start, as there's been quite a big crash ahead into the second corner. So we're going to line back up, ready for the second time round. And let's see what happens here. So pace kart moves over to the left-hand side. And same again. This time the side on the left gets a much better start, and the driver gets a false start penalty, but it doesn't really affect us. It affects us badly because we just gone down to P4, and the fact that he got a second position penalty doesn't really help us either. But we're going to go side by side to here, but we're just going to let him through, try not to battle too much. But this does mean that someone nips up the inside into here, and now we're down to P5. Someone else was on the inside as well, but we squeezed them out, and the rest of the race was kind of neutralised, just us in P5. And as we look down, skipping a few laps forwards, we're quite behind them. We're still in P5, and nothing else really happened. It's just quite a tense race where there weren't really many changes of position, but there was quite some quite close moments ahead, like this one where we go side by side into the second hairpin, but we don't really make much of it, and we should have to tuck behind and fight another day. But now down into this long straight, we're gonna stay behind them, lose a bit of time as we lifted, trying not to slam into the back of them. Down through the S's, and same as this corner, we can see we used a lot more curve than we did in qualifying, just showing that we learnt the track a bit better. Now into the first hairpin, this guy's going to go quite wide, and we managed to get in a bit on him. The 2 aheads are going to go side by side. Let's see if we can get a switch back out of this. The guy with the orange suit, he gets through, and we'll go side by side into the chicanes. I didn't get much of that. We did fall back a little bit, but we gained quite a few kart lengths through here, and again, yeah, using way more curb there, which has really helped us through. He's going to go defensive on the inside, well, barely, just he noticed we were there. And now around this corner here, let's see what we can do. We're going to get a slipstream, but we're still falling behind, and now it's going to be the final lap. And this driver ahead's going to go quite slowly through here. We gained quite a bit, slamming into the back of him. He had to brake from the car ahead. And now into this first hairpin, trying to get maybe you can go for a dive bomb into the second one, but nothing really happens there, and the race ends still in P5. And what this means is we finish P4 in the end because the guy ahead got a penalty, and we're starting P2 for the final. Now coming out the pits for the final, starting P2 on the outside this time, so this can be much harder to get a good start out of this, but let's see what happens. Now as we go across the line, we're going to get a good start right on the brink of getting a false start penalty, but we're going to get almost hit as we go wide to this corner, and now everyone's going to go through. We're dropping positions like mad, and now as we go into the first hairpin, it's absolutely chaos. Everyone's going to spin out, and this is literally, it's just survive at this point. Seeing I don't even know what position I'm in, someone spins out and we hit them, and what this means is we dropped another few positions, and luckily for us it was a false start as expected. And what this means is we're gonna have to line back up, and just so tough just going back to the front of the grid. But anyway, restart the race like that never happened, but there's 2 minutes taken off the clock, so it's gonna be a 9-minute race. Now let's see if we can learn from that and not do the same thing. We get a much worse start this time, and what's gonna happen is first corner we get hit on the side, and this means everyone else is gonna get through, but luckily it's not as much as last time. And now as we go into here, we're going to get hit again, down into P5, and now a bunch more people are going to get through. Still not a good start, but as we go into this hairpin, we got the inside, and we get to keep the P5, which from P5 to P6 now, not good at all, but it was much better than going down to P, I don't know, 20 like last time. But anyway, now as we go into the S's, we see the people ahead battling, and unfortunately, as we go across it, it's going to be a yellow flag, and it was basically the same thing for the entire race. And by the time it ended, we had 2 minutes left to race, and still in P6, we have 2 minutes to either get a podium or P2 if we can to get promoted. But anyway, into turn 1 we go, and this driver ahead, we're just going to stay right behind him, and he's going to get a much better exit than us. We fall back quite a bit. And now into the first hairpin, someone gets spun, and this driver with a blue helmet, he gets a penalty for that, I think. And he goes straight into this corner, quite hard there, I would say. But now as we go down here, we're right behind him still down through the S's, and just skip forwards a bit through the second hairpin. He completely takes that driver out, almost getting past, but he manages to not get that overtake. But anyway, now down to the S's we go again, and now we're going to try and set up a move for the paddock bend, as he gets a good exit but not as good as ours. We have to lift a bit so we don't hit into the back of him. He goes very defensive, but what this means is someone gets up our inside, and as we go into this corner, our wheels lock and we get both sent wide. And although this was kind of my fault, I couldn't really do anything about it. But now as we go onto the final lap of the race, and as we go around into this corner, we gain quite a lot on the drivers ahead. And let's see if we can set up a switchback, as they're going to go all defensive into that corner, going for a great exit. We get it, absolutely get it into P3. This is going to be a podium position, but as we go down here, we managed to lose it, as the drivers did. This guy, I think with the blue helmet, he just pounded everyone out the corner. But yeah, we lose it, and we go back down to P5. And from here, there's not really much we can do. We can try our best to get an overtake into these final few corners, but it's going to be quite hard considering that we don't have any time left. This guy's going to go very defensive, as can we get an exit on him down into the final bend? Yeah, and I don't think we can, so it's just going to have to be P5. So from P2 to P5, not what we wanted, but we couldn't really have done much about it, and that's how the race ends. Now as we go back into the pits, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was quite fun. This is my last round of the Club 100 season this year. They had lots of up and down, some C finals which didn't really go how they went, but I hope to see you next time, and goodbye.